Hey guys, Alicia Cook here from Massage Champions, and I'm so excited to share with you the story of Keyu-Katre, who has been able to take her business from a full-time employment where she had a very secure paycheck, working at a hospital doing medical massage, and now being able to work for herself at a home-based practice. And she's going to share with you how she transitioned from seeing just a handful of clients a month to then fast tracking her goals over a 12-month period. She thought she was going to take 12 months to leave her job, and she didn't. She did it in simply just a couple of months, and she kind of fast tracked that. So I can't wait for you to hear how she's been able to create a target market, get her audience involved, and know exactly how to speak the right language and the right messaging, and overcome some of the mindset challenges she had in order to be able to make this really great transition. So I can't wait to be able to share this story with you, and I know that you're going to get a lot out of it.
Hello, Keyu. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing so good. I hope you are.
Thank you so much for being willing to hang out with me. It is morning time, my time. It is evening time, yours. Tell us a bit about your business and, how did you get into the industry and who you help?
I've been a therapist for about a decade now, but I've been rubbing on people since I was young because my two older sisters kind of manipulated me into it. They were like, "You're so good at it. Can you rub my back?" So I was like, "Yeah, sure." So that's kind of how I got started. And then I received body work myself because I was a professional athlete before I became a massage therapist. So I've been within the body work realm for a really, really long time. So I got my education in the United States. I've been a therapist ever since. And in the last year and a half or so is really that has started clarifying for me who my target audience is. I wouldn't say that I'm looking to do a specific technique of like a deep tissue or a Swedish, but I want to help caregivers. And those really are parents, people who are taking care of someone else on a daily basis. It might be nurses by trade, or it might just be someone who is just so giving of themselves all the time that they've just forgotten to take care of themselves. And those are the people that my heart really goes out for. And those are the people that I seek out or seek me out. And I love working with that population.
Even as you say that, like caregivers, you can just feel the love that you have for them that kind of just radiates out.
I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I have a private practice that I started on August 15th because prior to that, I was working at a hospital setting, and I just decided it was time. And I'm able to reach the clientele exactly that I'm looking to reach after being in your course, that it's just inspired me to move my timelines so much further up. So I appreciate that. And I'm thankful for that.
So exciting. So first of all, before we get there, let's just put a pin in that. We'll come back to the awesome, I've started my own business 12 months before I, thought I was going to. Awesome stuff. Let's go back first of all. Where were you at in your business? You were doing medical massage at a hospital, but tell us a bit about what was the landscape of your business like before you got coaching?
So I only worked a couple of days a week, and I treated those days as maybe I'll work and maybe I'll also run some errands for myself. So it wasn't really like, I didn't really take my business seriously. I didn't really have the clear understanding of how much money I was actually making, what that money was used for. I didn't really have a clear strategy of what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to get there sometime, but never really knowing like, well, what are the steps that I actually need to take? So I just saw maybe between 10 and 15 clients a month, which was all that I could do because I had a full-time job seeing 25 people with the hospital. So that's kind of where I started before I got coaching. But I know that I needed to get it because I really was looking for a change for myself. And I think that I'm also the caregiver, right? So I'm a caregiver for my daughter. I love to care for my friends. So I'm pretty much my own client in that sense. And I said, it's time for coaching for me now.
Now, obviously, you're in the States, we're here in Australia. Tell us a bit about what made you choose some crazy coach from Melbourne, Australia, all the way across the other side of the world, as opposed to somebody more local that might have been easier to access?
Sure. I listened to the ABMP podcast, and it was with you and Darren Buford, and it was just so much fun. Like when I was listening to it, I was driving from my daughter's daycare to work, and I was just happy. I was like, I want to be around people who just enjoy what they do and they're happy about it. And honestly, I've looked into coaching in different aspects of my life too. And everybody in the States that I've looked into has just taken themselves so seriously. And I was just looking for more of a lighthearted, kind of like, let's help your mindset be different than, well, you need to do X, Y, and Z. It was just interesting. I just was looking for something that was a little bit more lighthearted. And that felt like you felt like that person that I needed to connect with. So
Love it.
that's kind of how it happened.
It's so good. And shout out to them if you're listening. They've got a fabulous podcast. I love to listen to. They've just got themselves also have a beautiful energy in the way that Kristen, talk about life and business and mindset and all the things. They tickle my
all the
and of
things.
course they're Brene fans as well. So this is a good thing. Okay. So that's amazing. So you decided that you were running like full time at a medical like massage at a hospital, which is amazing. We don't have that here in Australia as much. It's not as common, but I kind of get super excited by that. Realizing that you are your target market, so you understand them and you get them, getting really clear on that, to then go, okay, from 10 or 15 clients a month, how do I transition? And this is something we speak to a lot of people about, where they're like, I know I don't want to work for this place anymore. I want to be able to transition. Tell us a bit about, first of all, what were some of the things that you implemented when you first stepped into the course?
I think one of the biggest things for me was the mindset shift of like, if I'm going to be committed to this coaching, I need to change my mind around how I view my private practice. And I viewed it as, it's like a hobby, basically. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, I have a paycheck coming from somewhere else. What it really started doing for me was protecting those days. So instead of saying I work on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, but maybe I don't because I also need to run some errands, I was very clear about I work Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and these are the times that I'm there, and these are the times that I'm committed. And that made the biggest change for me, because then I almost like it was, I put out to the universe, I'm open. And then I started seeing more clients coming in, and it wasn't that I had to accommodate any more people. It was just the consistency of, yes, I can see you every Tuesday at 10 a.m. And that really made the biggest shift for me in being really confident around opening up my books, and then just trusting that those people that need to see me are going to see me. And that really has happened for me, which is kind of cool.
And so you had a goal of being able to transition out of your full-time job at the hospital to then work in your own business. And you gave yourself a nice 12-month timeline that was nice and safe. And it's like, you're going to step into your confidence, you're going to own it, and you've got time to be able to space that out. Tell us a bit about what actually happened in reality.
Oh, there was just so much stuff that was going on while I was in the program, taking those, keeping up with all of my homework assignments. And I wanted to, like, my husband was laughing at me because he's like, you're just competing against yourself, like not anybody else does. But I want to be first. Like, I want to submit my things the first and all that stuff. So that was one of the sidekicks. One of the things was, as I was in the program, the momentum was just going, and it was going and going and going and going. And I felt like if I stopped and took that time to like give myself another year, that I would have just stopped and maintained whatever I had before of just maybe 10 to 13 clients a month. So I said, I need to keep going with this. And then the other thing was, being in the program, it really gave me the tools to go through the financials and see like, what would that mean? Like if I were to give up a very secure paycheck, what would I have to do in my private practice? And for me, my break-even point was seeing 6 clients a week, which most of the time I pretty much did. And then the average of like both of those paychecks that I would have gotten was just seeing 11 people a week, which was still so manageable. So the financial aspect was really helpful to kind of go through in the program to see how much I actually need to do to break even and make money. And then on the other side, I figured out what was actually keeping me in my secure job and how little was keeping me there actually. Like I had built it so much bigger. I'm like, well, if I go, then I'm going to lose my benefits, and then I'm going to lose my pension and my retirement. And then when I did the math, what was holding me there was just like minuscule. So it's just so much clarity around doing the numbers and putting the work in there and seeing the break even points that was able for me to say, okay, I need to do this and just trust that it's going to work out in the way that I want it to. And it has. I mean, we're in September now. I quit my job in August and I'm fine.
So good. This is what
Yeah.
I love about the clarity of numbers. And we talk about structure, governance, function. Yeah, like
Yep.
if you think of the hip joint, it's a really secure, stable joint in the body. If you think of the shoulder joint, it has lots of flexibility. If we have a business that has lots of flexibility, there are perks to that. Like only seeing
Yep.
6 to 10 clients a month, you can go do errands, etc. But if you want to transition from one to the other, you've got to learn how to create that structure. And learning your numbers is a massive part of that. And what I find utterly like mind-blowing, not just for me, but for you and for the, so many people in the course, that it's like, you only have to do your numbers to realize, like I said, how little. You only have to see 6 clients a week to break even. And if you see any more than 11 clients a week, you are making more money than you would have working full time. Because if you were seeing 25 clients a week at the, at the hospital, I'm guessing that's more than 25 hours a week by the time you drive there. No
Yes.
breaks, all that kind of stuff. Whereas you see, 15 clients a week, and that's like maybe 18, 19 hours. Boom.
Yep.
And then you've got time to do your errands and things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it comes from understanding who you are as a therapist, being really clear on that, and as you said, having the right mindset, and then creating the right system and structure to govern the function of the business that you want. And it's almost kind of, I'm finding it almost hilarious that you're like, all these other coaches were like so serious and it's like, you can absolutely get the structure that's required without it having to take yourself so seriously, which is why we start with mindset. Because when you are aligned to your goals and your purpose, taking the action. Now, I'm sure that decision to go from, we call it a UTM, or an undue tightening moment, where I'm going to leave my job, is not like the funnest, most amazing day on earth. But the other side of that, 4 weeks later, when you know things are working, you're trusting, and you're taking the action, we talk about the law of attraction. The last 6 letters is action. Yeah, it's not about just sitting out in the unit, putting it out to the universe and going, ta-da, I hope it shows up. It's like putting it out to the universe and then doing the work to make it happen and watching things start to flow in. Yeah. So exciting. So what are some of the other things that you've actually implemented? Obviously, understanding your numbers has been a massive part of it. What are some other things you've done to start attracting, new clients through the door?
Sure. So I continue to run my Facebook ads, and they're doing really good. Most of the time I run them for a week, and typically get 2 to 3 people who are in my target, or like my ideal clients, to come in. And for me, like what I figured out is, for me, the hardest part is getting them to come in and see me. And once they're there, I can rebook them just like that, because I'm attracting the right kind of people. And it just kind of trickles down from there of word to mouth and all of that stuff. So I do the Facebook ads. It was kind of crazy. Whenever I started my private practice full time, my daughter's daycare had a COVID case. So I had to shut down. And I was like, how to start my private practice, right? And I shifted gears really quickly, because one of the things that I think you keep saying over and over again is action precedes clarity. And I was like, I need to take action. If I can't have my hands on bodies, then I need to do something different. And I started selling like a back to school special, where people can buy a package of 4 massages and then book them, between September and December. So once per month until the end of the year. And it was incredible of how many of my current clients took me up on it. And I didn't work at all, but I was still making money. And I was like, cool, that's how I want to function. Of just, if there's a roadblock, what's my next move? And that's something that I've implemented. It's just a lot of action. And some of the action that I take takes me nowhere. And then I know it. And I'm like, okay, this didn't work. And then I can try something different. But yeah, action really does precede clarity. It's just taking action has been really cool for me.
And how powerful is it when you've got like you said, like multiple ways to be able to go, I could do this. I didn't work. Okay, cool. I'll try this. I'll have a go at this. I'll have a go at this. When it doesn't take you 800 years to do every step, you're just like, oh, and that is the mindset game. When you can look at a roadblock and go, so what else can I do? And you already know there's possibilities. So you start looking for ways around it. And that is the power of mindset right there. Because it's not that you're not going to experience challenges, but it's who you get to become and who you get to learn about yourself in the process that makes all the difference in the world.
Yep.
I guess for you, if we haven't covered it already, what would be the biggest results that you've gotten from the program so far?
Confidence is one of them. Confidence in, like, obviously I'm a good body worker. I know that about myself already, but confidence in how to convey that to the clients that I'm looking for. Numbers has been a big thing. Track and measure has been another thing. That are all things that I can, when I get down, I'm kind of like, wait a minute, let's look at my numbers. And I can see, oh yeah, I actually did see 5 new clients this week. And I have, appointments booked all the way through October, or like all the way through December, not like fully booked, but I have appointments coming up. So that is something that I've really treasure, is just that confidence that what I'm doing and the things that I learned from the program, that if I just implement them, they will work. And that's what I've done too, is like finished the program, started implementing, then I started forgetting about things because things were going good. And I was like, wait a minute, I think that I did learn about like this type of an ad to run, that SOAS form of ad. And I was like, okay, let me try that one. So just knowing that what I'm doing right now is just perfectly fine. I've taken all this information that I've gotten from this course and this coaching, and I always have the ability to go back and be like, something isn't working. I wonder why. And then I can track it down and be like, I missed a step here. Let me re-implement and see what happens. So that has been the biggest gift for me in my practice.
Yeah. And what about, like, you came to like almost every single base camp we had, and obviously it's nighttime for you when we run them. We try and do them in a mid-morning, so it isn't too late at night for you guys on the other side. But tell us a bit about, what was that experience like coming in at 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock at night to the calls? What did the calls do for you through the program?
Yeah, I think that the calls were a really good accountability point for me, because oftentimes that's what I know about myself is, I have all these good ideas, I take action, but then I need that extra little bit of somebody to hold me accountable. And those were the calls that's what one of the things that the calls did for me. But then also, like, hearing from other people having similar struggles was really helpful. It's just knowing that, I'm not the only one who doesn't understand like Facebook ads or Google ads or how to build the website or whatever else that might be, or really like finding your vision and mission and stuff like that. It was a really cool experience to see everybody else's creativity, and then and just being there, like offering that space for them to share was really neat. And then kind of seeing it and being able to kind of champion them along on their journey for their dreams to fulfill. So it was very empowering for me to just kind of witness and be present, and share very vulnerably about my own experience too.
Yeah. And have that safe space where that's allowed. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's sometimes coaching can be like, oh, but if I'm not there, everyone else, of course, because we always think everyone else is doing better than me, as we're trying to, especially if we're learning something and we're a bit wobbly, it can be a sense of, but all these other people are doing it, they're going through the course quicker, or they seem to understand the information more. And it's like, no. And that's what I love, the reflections we get back. is that people are like, yeah, I got to learn just as much from everybody else as I did from sharing my own stuff. And it's powerful because we can be a little bit like silos. We go into our treatment rooms with our clients and it's just us and them. And then we go home and tell our partner and our friends, guess what? I had this amazing week. And our partner and friends are like, good for you. They don't necessarily get it. So that you can have those people around you that actually are going to celebrate your wins and things like that it's really beautiful. If somebody was listening to this and they were thinking, okay, yeah, this sounds like something that I'm interested in and maybe I'm ready for it, what would you say to someone who's thinking of doing the Fully Booked Bootcamp program?
I would say do it, sign yourself up, and give yourself the permission to allow yourself to succeed. Because that's really what it did for me is the investment is there and you will just kind of make that back straight away, basically in the first couple of weeks. And it'll just set you up for success for the rest of your life, whether it's going to be just massage related or if you're going to shift, somewhere else along the way. This information is just going to be incredibly powerful and empowering and bring out the best in you that you haven't thought about yet. So do it.
Love it. Thank you so much for your time. It's
You're welcome.
so amazing catching up with you today.
You too. Thank you.
You staying up late to be able to chat with us and the amazing journey that you've been on over the last few months to be able to create the results that you have. So well done. Thank you.